breve sarà la produzione del grano duro in Kazakhstan a cura di Nurlan Ospanov, che è il presidente della Grain Union of Kazakhstan. Penso che il video possa essere pronto. Grazie.
Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. Greetings from Kazakhstan. My name is Nurlan Ospanov. I am the president of the Grain Union of Kazakhstan. We are happy to meet again all the participants of the DurumDays. We wish that this meeting will be very fruitful to you, and I hope you find our presentation interesting and useful. Our presentation is dedicated to the durum wheat projection for season 2018-2019 in Kazakhstan. On the first slide, we show the general information of the crop areas by years from 2013 to 2017 and the projection for 2018 separately for each product, like spring wheat, barley, sunflower, oilseed, rape, oil flax, lentil, cotton, rice, potato, corn, and other vegetables. We especially wanted to draw your attention on the following key figures. Total acreage is expected to increase by 1.5 in 2018 in comparison to 2013. Spring wheat acreage is decreasing year on year, but is still huge, about 50% of total Kazakhstan acreage in 2018. Main reason is that producers want to shift to oilseeds and pulses is due to their higher profitability. In other cereals, the main growth is driven by barley, as a part of government livestock support program and due to its export orientation. Oilseeds growth by 31% in 2018 in comparison to 2013 is mainly driven by oil flax and oilseed rape. Sunflowers area are close to maximum potential areas and are growing slightly. Pulses crops are growing actively, mainly due to lentil areas. Cotton and rice acreages will decrease, while intensification on these crops will grow due to the regional diversification programs. Corn, potato, vegetables acreages will grow to these crops' higher profitability. On the second slide, we show you the export data of the mentioned crop products. Every year, the first place is occupied by the soft wheat. As you noticed before, this crop dominates in our country, and its surpluses are exported in the abundant quantities. The 63% of the top 6 exported crops is still soft wheat, with low level of export to Europe. Here are the following key highlights of this slide. Kazakhstan, as you know, is a landlocked country with only opportunity to export crop production to attractive Western markets only across the Russian Federation. The second point, high potential export directions also are China for oil crops, Middle East and East Asian countries. Durum wheat is the number 3 in the top 3 crops from 2015, with big part of export to Europe, mainly Italy. Big part of export of more profitable crops are going to Europe, durum, flax, lentils. You also can notice the significant growth of export of lentils from 2016. It's because to the new crop rotation with big potential for further growth. The third slide is dedicated to key figures of the durum wheat market of Kazakhstan. In general, spring wheat planting area is 11.4 million hectares. Yield varies from 1 to 1.5 tons per hectare. Extensive growing technologies are used. Durum spring wheat planting area is 400,000 hectares. Durum wheat planting areas are mostly located in Akmola and Kostanay regions of Kazakhstan. Durum wheat total commodity production in Kazakhstan reaches the approximate quantity of 500,000 tons. The main growers are big agro-holdings with average planted area of durum wheat from 10 to 40,000 hectares. On the fourth slide, we wanted to tell you about durum wheat export from Kazakhstan. The main and key trend of 2017 is the reorientation of export from small markets to Italy. Now about 53% of total export of durum goes to Italy. The growth is 10 times since 2014. Turkey remains in the top 3 of export directions for the last 3 years. Top 3 of export countries deliver about 88% of total durum exports. Tunisia is the new country in the top 8 of export directions in 2016 with good potential for growth. The total export of durum wheat is increasing significantly in the last years, 2.6 times during the last 4 years. On the slide number 5, dynamics of Kazakhstan durum export is represented by months. The period from July to August still was impacted by the yield of the previous year. Level of export during autumn was limited by availability of railways carriages. January-February is the traditional period when deficit of logistic facilities is recovering and export is increasing. Usually it's relevant to soft wheat, and now you can see it in respect of durum as its export increases. In February was the biggest export of durum during the last years. On the slide number 6, we wanted to show you the main export routes of durum wheat to Europe. One of the important factors of the durum export is logistic cost through Russia, and now we tell you why. The key export direction is through Russian ports, but when these ports are overloaded by Russian grain, Kazakhstani traders use Baltic ports with much higher cost of logistics. High price of Baltic directions is mainly driven by high cost of transit through Russian railroads. Instead, Russian railroads provide better price for transit to Russian ports in order to stimulate loading of this direction. When free spaces of storages for durum wheat are not available, our traders use direct loading from carriages to vessels. On our last slide, we wanted to point out our projection for durum wheat for the coming season 2018-2019. The planted area is increasing by 3% and reaches 437.5 thousand hectares. The crop, on the contrary, is decreasing by 8.5% and will decrease to the level of production of 525,000 tons. Decreasing of durum production is expected mainly due to the drought weather condition expectations, and it can be reconsidered later during the season. Expected drought can also affect on quality, especially on taste weight and protein content. Domestic use will not almost change and will stay on its level of the previous year. Export projection will decrease by 11% and will reach 400,000 tons. That was the last point I wanted to tell you, and I hope you have found our presentation helpful. Thank you very much. Good day, dear ladies and
Ecco qui.
gentlemen.
Allora, dopo questi
Greetings
3
from
video,
Kazakhstan. My name
finalmente
is
passiamo la
Ospanov.
parola ai nostri ospiti. In particolare avremo il punto di vista degli Stati Uniti con Jan Flagg, che è il Vice President per l'Europa e per Middle East and Africa della US with Associates. Prego.